Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 44. And what a jam-packed week we got coming up this week. Here's our disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only, not providing any investment advice. It's not tailored to any one individual. Everybody understand their time horizon. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investment involves risk. Here's our agenda for the week. I'm going to cover the news, provide a market overview of the indices, and we got 829 companies reporting pretty much the bulk of earnings season. Had a lot last week and continuing on this week. Here's our results for week 43. Provided 41 zones. We went 4-1 in our options trades, 30 companies with no entry, 6 in progress. Those are going to be GM, Lockheed Martin, AT&T, Las Vegas Sands, good old Harley Davidson, and DXCM. So check those out if you're in those plays this week. Here's what the outlook looks like. Like I said, a lot of big companies reporting. More importantly, 5 of the Mag 7 are reporting this week, and I will be covering those when we get into the charts. I went ahead and I added our wins for the week of week 43, and that brings us to a total of 114 and 30 on the year. So having an outstanding options trading year. All right, moving into our news for the week, starting with Monday. We really don't have anything. The Canadian dollar midday has a report coming out, so be mindful of that. You might have some little bit of increased volatility midday, so be mindful of that on Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, as you can see, we got a consumer confidence report at 7, so 30 minutes after the open. Anticipate some volatility with the job opening report. That's going to do it for the US on Tuesday. However, in the evening, for those of you trading futures and Forex, understand that the Australian dollar is releasing their CPI report. Moving on to Wednesday, we got non-farm payrolls and GDP report. Both of these are going to be pre-market, so expect some additional volatility at the open of the market if those reports, depending on how those reports come in. Now, in the evening, you got the Japanese yen. You see all this is tentative, so just stay away from the Japanese yen on Wednesday. Moving on to Thursday, again in the morning, we got PCE, employment cost index, and the Canadian dollar has GDP. All of that is pre-market, so expect some additional volatility into the open. In addition, like I said, the Mag 7 is the 5 of the Mag 7 are reporting this week, so be mindful of that. That's going to be additional volatility. We also got unemployment claims at 5 in the pre-market on Thursday. And then, as always, the first Friday of the month, which is next week, is November 1st. We got unemployment rate and our jobs report and non-farm payroll. So very, very, very busy week right before the election. So it should be an interesting week. Now, getting into the charts, I got a jam-packed week for you. As you can see, this was the level I gave on the S&P 500, the SPX last week, and it held and it popped. With that being said, we pretty much penetrated all the way through. So we're going to delete this level. And the next stop I have for you on the S&P 500 is 56.55, 62 to 5,600 even. We tested that 5,800 in the futures market and 57.60 on the cash index. No supply right now. This level worked already. So again, it's just anticipate a very, very volatile week. No supply. Demand zone 56, 55, 62 to 5,600 on the S&P 500. Moving on to the NASDAQ. For the NASDAQ, this is the level that's held for us multiple weeks in a row. You can see we're getting higher and higher, almost at the point of breaching it, but we had a nice drawback on Friday afternoon sell-off at the end of the day. So this level has worked once, twice, 3 times, and we'll find out whether or not we continue to fall out of here or the NASDAQ decides to break this level. This level is still intact. However, I would tell you to take it with very much caution. This is the supply level holding the NASDAQ 2253 to 2592. For all we know, one of the Mag 7 that are reporting this week will be the catalyst to make this go all higher. Do not be surprised if we close this gap right here, though. In the event one of the Max 7 falter, first demand level we got here for you is 19,539.55 to 19,296, and that's going to do it for the NASDAQ. Moving on to the Dow Jones, finally showing some weakness compared to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. We finally have supply in the Dow Jones. That's going to be 431 to 433.41. And on the demand side, first level I have for you is 416.39 to 414.33. Moving on to the rut. What can we say? The rut has been the rut, and all our levels have been holding throughout the year. This hasn't changed. Our demand level is going to be at 2018.33 to 1956.32, and our supply level is going to be 23.25 to 23.70. For those of you who are a little bit more aggressive, this is a lower time frame zone. That's going to come in at 21.37 to 21.17. Now, getting into earnings, and we have a lot of them this week. First company I have for you, Bank of Marion. This is a cheaper stock for those of you who are interested. First, the demand level I have for you is at 1660 to 1588, and on the supply side, 2893 to 3186. Next company I have for you, I'm sure you've heard of it, is Ford. This is Monday after the close. The first demand level I have for you is at 860 to 736. And on the supply side, 1357 to 1419. To understand, in the event of overshoot, we have another level here at 1493 to 1540. Next company is Transmedics. This is still on Monday. This is all Monday afternoon. On the supply side, 168.63 to 177.40, and on the demand side, 96.20 to 82.79. Next company is Waste Management, a good old company that picks up my trash every week. On the demand side, be mindful that this level has worked numerous times, but it is the level that's been holding Waste Management up. That level is 199.56 to 195.84, and we got a subsequent level of demand at 190.36 to 186.89. On the supply side, you can see we attempted to get to this level and we never got to it, and it turned right before it. So that level is going to be 216.95 to 219.62 on the supply side. Next company I have for you is Brown and Brown. All-time highs were hit previously on the 17th at 107.67. There is no supply in this company. However, on the demand side, we got 94.21, 92.23. Next company I have for you is Centrus. No supply, hit 104. First demand level I have for you is 60.09 to 54.17. Next company is Amcor Technology. On the demand side, 24.12 to 22.71 and 37.22 to 39.82. That is going to do it for our Monday earnings. Now, moving into Tuesday. First company I have for you is SoFi. SoFi has been taken off. No, I have no supply for you on SoFi. First demand level I have for you is 865 to 817. Next company is good old McDonald's. As you can see, they had a significant drop due to that E. coli scare. We dropped right into this level and it took off, and now we're right back in it. Be cautious with this level because it has already worked. With that being said, I'm going to give you another level right now on McDonald's, and that level is going to be 267.49, 261.70. This level may hold again. As you can see, we just came here and popped up. However, we don't know how earnings is going to turn out. With that being said, we do now have a supply level in McDonald's at 312.95 to 318.01. So in the event of an overshoot here, expect 267 to come into play. Next company I have for you is Pfizer. On the demand side, 25.86 to 25.49, and on the supply side, 33.54 to 34.67. Next company is Croc. They've been killing it this year. On the demand side, we got 109.63 to 104.72, and on the supply side, 174.96 to 183.90. Next company is AMD. These other levels, our levels have been holding good all year. You can see we've came in here on both sides. Both of these levels has been holding, and I'm not going to change them. Those levels for you on AMD on the demand side is going to be 124.93 to 114.88. On the supply side, 174.70 to 187.43. Now, first of the Mag 7 reporting on Tuesday. Good old Google. Google is down 13% on the year. Got a lot of demand here, pretty much 157 to 147. You can treat all these levels. I'll read them out real fast. 157.93 to 156.54, then a subsequent level at 154 to 152 and 150 to 147. So a lot of demand below. This level has worked numerous times, so I'm gonna take it down. Now, Google has room to move. It can get up to 177. So for those of you who want to invest, pay attention to my social media posts this week on how to play this. But again, that first level is on the demand side, 157.93 to 156.54. And on the supply side, 177.44 to 183.71. So if Google has good earnings, it can shoot up about a good 10, 15 points. Now, moving on to Snap. Good old Snap. That's Snapchat. All right, on the demand level, you can see that it cannot break this $8 level. That demand level is going to be at 847 to 814 with room up to 1269 to 1398. Next company I got for you is Chipotle. So Chipotle is coming right into a supply level at 60.92 to 63.84 ever since it split, that 50 to 1 split. I was looking for that price point below 50. The lowest we got was on August 5th to about 47.98. That first demand zone I got for you is 46.95 to 45.46. And we got two supply zones here. So 60.92, 63.84. In the event of an overshoot, we can see 68.34 to 69.37. Next company we got is Visa. So Visa just made a double top here. No supply on Visa right now. First demand zone I have for you is 262.04 to 254.28. Next company, Reddit. So Reddit has been taking off since its IPO. That first demand zone I have for you is 68.99 to 63.51. Moving on to Wednesday, Eli Lilly. So Eli Lilly, on the supply side, 942.43 to 974.25. And on the demand side, 742.13 to 716.91. Next company I have for you is Caterpillar. No supply in Caterpillar, just hit all-time highs here recently at 403.60. First demand level I have for you is 306.09 to 297.72. Next company I have for you is Humana. So on the supply side, 306.84 to 324.81. And you can see we just touched this level and took off. That level on the demand side is going to be 214.64 to 185.70. Next company is Bib. Good old Biogen. Biogen's having a rough year, but so are all the biotech companies. With that being said, we got a demand level coming in at 177.55 to 159.77. On the supply side, 239.79 to 252.11. Next, Wingstop. So Wingstop put in an all-time high of 433 earlier in the year. As a matter of fact, last quarter, 433.86. We are starting to develop some nice supply levels. So that first supply level I have for you is 394.91 to 410.18. And the first demand level I have for you is 369 to 269.65. Now moving into Wednesday afternoon with some of the big boys. Microsoft has been in the middle of these two zones for quite some time. So we got a nice move coming in to Microsoft, either up to 450 or down to 391. With that being said, that first supply level I have for you is 450.37 to 457.30. And on the demand side, 391.05 to 383.45. Next company, Meta, good old Metaverse. So on Meta, no supply on Meta. First demand zone I have for you is 543.64 to 531.30 with a subsequent level at 528.16 to 515.25. Next company is Coin or Coinbase. These are the levels that have been working for Coin. On the demand side, 150.36 to 136.21. And on the supply side, 241.81 to 273.23. I just looked at this level and we are going to reduce the size of this level and change it to 250.267 to 273.23. Next company I have for you is Etsy. So Etsy on the demand side, 40.11 to 29.95, and on the supply side, 64.28 to 67.05. Next company I have for you is Starbucks. So, excuse me, and you don't want to move, huh? So for Starbucks, you can see this is the level that's been holding. That level is 94.92 to 99.07. If this level breaks, we will see 105. So I just want to show this to everybody. This level is 105.45 to 108.14. These are your two supply levels. Ever since the Chipotle CEO moved over to Starbucks, we have done nothing pretty much for the last 2 months. This level is what's been holding it. On the demand side, you got 73.09 to 70.42. Finally, moving on to Thursday, we got MasterCard. On the demand side, no supply MasterCard hit an all-time high of 518.82 not so long ago. First demand level I have for you is 460.61 to 451.11. Next company I have for you is Merck. So for Merck, on the demand side, 89.22 to 84.35. On the supply side, 125.42 to 129.94. Next, we got MO, one of our dividend kings. Our levels have been holding beautifully this year as well. Next demand level I have for you is 46.69 to 43.81. And on the supply side, 55.06 to 57.10. Next company I got for you is Norwegian Cruise Line. On the supply side, 25.39 to 26.44. And on the demand side, 15.01 to 14.04. Next company I have for you is Roblox. So for Roblox on the demand side, 33.55 to 31.64. And on the supply side, 53.65 to 58.97. Next company I got for you is Estee Lauder. So for Estee Lauder on the demand side is 88.85 to 75.30. And supply is pretty much too high. So focus on the demand for those of you who are looking in for Estee Lauder. Now, moving into the afternoon of Thursday afternoon, where a couple more big boys are reporting. We got Amazon. So Amazon has these two supply levels. As you can see, this first one has already worked. We've dropped from there. However, that thing is still intact. So that's 192.70 to 196.68. And we got a subsequent supply level at 198 to 201.36. First demand level I have for you on Amazon is 168.10 to 162.52. Then we got Apple. Now, Apple pretty much sitting at all-time highs, $6 away from it. It made another one at 237.49. There is no supply in Apple. First demand level I have for you is 213.79 to 205.05. In the event we breach that, we got the 197.24 to 191.80. Next, moving on to Intel. Intel's been struggling all year. Pretty much, we are consolidating for a big move here. So that move, we got 1678 to 1461 on the demand side and 3710 to 3892. Understand, please, this is a struggling company right now. However, I think the government is going to bail them out. So be mindful of that. And that takes us to Friday, finally, the end of the week, and where we got good old Chevron, CVX. On the demand side, 130.34 to 122.89, and on the supply side, 167.27 to 170.17. Then its sister or brother company, whoever you want to call them, is good old XOM. We got one supply level here at 124.84 to 126.41. This is a very aggressive level. Be mindful of that, please. And then we got a demand side of 105.77 to 102.71. And the last company I have for you this week is Wayfair. So for Wayfair, on the demand side, 33.17 to 29.39. And on the supply side, 74.08 to 78.68. There's a lot of news this week. There's a lot of earnings this week. There's a lot going on this week. So be vigilant and mindful. For those of you who haven't done so already, please go ahead and follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn and my social media platforms so you can get updates on some of these trades. This week will be a heavy week. I will be posting a lot due to all the activity that's happening, especially with 5 of the Mag 7 reporting. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. For those of you who want to know when my upcoming courses are, go ahead and check out the website. Till next time, happy trading.